One of the things that I kind of value, or at least, uh, we'll just say one of my values that I uh, give to people that reach friend status or above is don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. I've encountered a lot of situations where people want to know things, but they don't really want to know the truth. And so I kind of try to, I don't want to say preach, but we're going to use the word preach, that to like my friends. And sometimes, I do similar things to coworkers and things like that, depending on the situation. But when it comes to a lot of personal topics and whatnot, I, for the most part, like to just tell you how it is. I know that I try to phrase things the way that it sounds nice and whatnot, but honestly, if you're gonna ask me a question and you have the confidence to do that, you should have the confidence to receive an honest response to it. And so that's kind of why I say don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Because if you're going to ask me, do I look fat? And if I think you look fat, I'm going to say you look fat. So that's just kind of how I approach those things. There's very little sugarcoating where I feel it's not necessary. Obviously there's a little bit of degrees, or a few degrees, where you might want to approach things in a calmer type of, I don't know, you want to use certain words that are not going to escalate things, I suppose is the best way to put it. But I think I value just being honest and kind of just throwing that out there like, hey, I'm giving you my actual opinion, and there's little to no filter right there. And I think the best example that I have of that is one day, for whatever reason, my mom decided that she would dye her hair. She has brown hair normally, and she dyed it to look kind of red, not like a bright red, but like a dark red, like a maroon, or like a brownish red. And she asked me once, after she was done, because I didn't know she did it. I came home from school or something like that, and I walked in and I kind of looked at her because like something looked a little bit different. It was a little dark in the house, so I wasn't 100% sure. But she had asked me like, hey, do you like my hair? And I kind of looked at it, and it dawned on me like, wait, her hair color changed. And I told her, I was like, no, I don't like it at all. And she was kind of distraught by that. She didn't really like my answer at all, and she was kind of depressed because I told her that. And to this day, I stand by my answer. Like, thinking back to this, I still don't like the color that she dyed her hair. I mean, to be 100% honest here, I really don't like it when anybody dyes their hair. If I know you to a degree where like I've seen you a bunch of times, we're friends, or we interact on a lot of levels, I guess, whether it be in person or I see you, blah blah, whatever. I don't like it when people kind of change themselves, especially in what I would consider a very drastic way. I know you for who you are, and I like you for who you are, and for you to change something about you is a little crazy. But I guess that's besides the point there. So yeah, don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. And I think I'll add to that a lot of times in my life I've given advice, and I like to think that I give very good personal advice, even if I don't have a connection to the problem, or I've not experienced the problem myself. I think that if someone comes to me and says, like, hey, I'm having problems with this person in my relationship, I really do feel like I've given good advice. The only issue that I ran into is that, very little people actually take my advice. But, there's emotions involved in other stuff. So, there's definitely that aspect of, receiving criticism or receiving just answers to questions that people might not expect to receive. And I guess I just will say that if you're going to ask me a serious question and we're on a relationship status that denotes that I can actually be 100% honest with you, then I'm going to give you that 100% honest response. And there should be an acknowledgement that, hey, he's actually giving me his honest opinion here, and I respect that. And so that's what I look for in response. And so that's why sometimes before answering questions, I ask them, do you want to know the answer to that question? Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. So that's one of my values, I suppose.